Hey, so in today's video, I'd like to talk to you about a lesson that I just learned over the Christmas and New Year's break, which, by the way, late Merry Christmas and late Happy New Year. I'm sorry I missed it. I was on the break, of course, goes without saying, but I hope you had a wonderful year, a wonderful Christmas, if that's what you celebrate. And I already know this year's going to be the best. We're going to have the best year. I give you my best wishes, but you don't even need them. We're going to have the best year. Just you watch. Just you watch. Anyway, hope you had a great time. Now let's get into the video here. What's the lesson? So the lesson is sometimes you just need a second pair of eyes, a second opinion. And it's going to be a bit of a short one, but let me just give you the story. What's the background? Why am I telling you this? So over the break, I had nothing to do. I had no homework, and I couldn't really make many videos. I was upstairs for a few things. I didn't get much time to myself, and I didn't get much time to go in a quiet space to record properly. I had time to myself, I'll say that actually. I had time to myself, I just didn't have time where I could go record quietly properly, if that makes sense. So, for the most part, I didn't have much to do. And that just brought me back to, I play games every now and then, and there's nothing to do really, so I was just going to play some games. Why not? And over the course of about a week and some days, I started playing a little more than usual. Well, maybe a lot more than usual, I'd say. Still, once again, there was nothing I could really do. I could do more. I won't lie. I probably could have spent that time better. But it wasn't like there was a pressing due date on anything. Everything was cleared up. It's a break. It's free. Everything's fine. But my family, they noticed the amount of games I was playing and the amount of things I was doing that just weren't the same as the week previous when I was working like normal Jake. And they just said it was like a zombie version of me, kind of just playing these games and like doing not much else for that matter. I was doing other things, but I was definitely playing more games than doing anything else. So in that moment, which seems like such a basic revelation, you should think that you'd be able to see that yourself. See like, oh, I'm playing too many games. I guess we got to stop. But I'm telling you, when they said that, I didn't know it before. It took me right out of my body, and it just made me look at myself, and I thought I would have figured it out. Like I thought I would have looked at myself before and thought this is pretty zombie Jake, right? And no, I didn't. I needed a second pair of eyes, like a new opinion, an outside source. And it took me out of my body, and it just made me look at what I was doing and who I was being. This isn't the normal Jake. It made me look at how I'm basically being a zombie version of me. It was weird. It was so weird. I can't even put into words. It had me thinking all night. I was just sitting there like, how? That makes no sense. And it's such a basic revelation too. That's the key. Is I thought that right after I heard it, I was thinking like, how could I have not have figured that out myself? How could I have needed another opinion to figure this out? And I still don't know why. I still and it made me think about all the other times that I've gotten a second opinion on things. And this is a pattern. There will be homework things, and I'll get my teacher to look at it, and they'll say something that seems so obvious, but I missed it entirely. And then it's like, fuck, how did I not see that? Maybe I'll be cooking, and I don't know what's missing here. My mom comes over, she shows me, oh my god, that's so obvious. How could you have not figured that out, Jake? It's such a reoccurring thing. And this is another one of those examples. But this one really had me thinking, because it was like, it's just a different level, because it's not like cooking a meal. It's spending the time of your day. And there's different levels of importance in that. So when I was looking at how I was spending my time, and I realized that I was like a zombie Jake who couldn't figure it out, it was like, it was so weird. It was like a whole other experience right out of the body. It's so weird. But that's my little story. The point is, in that moment, I learned you need a second pair of eyes. Not for everything. You don't really need a second pair of eyes, but think about it. If it's going to be one of those things where it's like a really, really crucial assignment, or you're making like a really, really cool, or a lot of things are riding on project, then just think about it. Think about it. Could I use a second pair of eyes? Just a little glance. Like a decision, a big decision. Could I use a second pair of eyes? Just another opinion, a quick glance at the least. And I think I've been looking at it, and I think for every little thing that I've done, every big thing, every little thing, a second opinion it's always welcome. I could always use it. And I've tried this a little bit now, and I'm telling you, it's been useful. It's been weirdly useful, because the second opinion will present things to you that seem so stupidly obvious, but you could not have figured it out. Maybe you could have, but you wouldn't have figured it out as timely, or maybe just as good. You wouldn't have figured it out in maybe the more preferenced way. But with a second pair of eyes, someone else can just give it a quick glance, tell you what it's missing, and then boom. And I've tried this a few times, and it's working. It's like some magic formula to show you the hidden things that are so crucial but so obvious that you will miss. You don't need a second pair of eyes, but I think you should want it. It can get you the perfect project, it can make the perfect meal. It can get you out of I wouldn't call what my case was an addiction, but it would get you out of like a bad habit, I guess you could say. And addiction too, but I just mean for my case. It can get you out of things, sticky situations. It's so helpful. I've been trying it since a little bit before Christmas, and it's working. I don't know how it's working. I don't know the science behind it. I don't know how it's possible that we miss these things and this works. But I'm telling you from experience, it works. So my challenge for you is to just take something, maybe a big decision, maybe a big project, even a little one actually. Just take something that you think is worth getting a second opinion on, and just ask like your mom or your friend. Or just, even if, I don't even know if this works, but maybe you could try asking a random person. If it's the right thing, maybe you could try that if you want to. Just ask somebody for a second opinion and just see what happens. See what comes up. I promise you, something that they share, you probably would have missed. I mean, as long as they're not like, yeah, this is good. If they give actual feedback, I mean. Because, I mean, you can't really gain anything off of this is good. You need like an actual critique. Not like an actual critique, but notice how they came up and they observed that zombie like Jake. They told me about it. They didn't really critique me. They just observed it. And boom, it came to my mind. So it doesn't have to be a critique, but it has to be something more than like a this is good, this is bad. It has to be this is good because, this is bad because. One or the other. So get good feedback. Anyway. Oh, my dogs have started screaming, sorry. Don't know what that's about. Anyway, that's the little lesson I learned over the break. It's such a painfully obvious one in a way, but it's so valuable. Takes you out of so many things, helps you so much. So try out my challenge. Try getting a second opinion on just something. Just something. And I promise you will find, as long as you get a good amount of feedback, you'll find something that you missed that you just feel dumb for missing. It's crazy. It's funny. And we might do future videos on that soon. I'm looking into it because it makes no sense to me. Anyway, that's all. Hope my story and my little lesson helps you a ton. And have a great little start to your new year. Take care, my friend.